Aziz Ansari makes his debut as writer, director, and actor in the movie Good Fortune alongside Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, and Keke Palmer. Aziz plays Arj. He's a guy that's down on his luck. He's working the gig department, delivering food to paying customers. He's living out his car. He doesn't really have much going on for himself, and he's giving up hope on life. And then we have Keanu Reeves, who's playing Gabriel. He's a guardian angel given the task of helping people to make sure they don't get into any serious accidents while they text and drive. As we all know, that's one of the leading causes in the world today, that people get in accidents, and Gabriel is making sure that people get home safely. But Gabriel isn't satisfied with the task that's given to him. The other guardian angels in his circle are given more wider scope assignments, like saving people and helping lost souls from jumping off of cliffs. Because of his low-end assignment, Gabriel has small wings compared to the other angels that have bigger wings because they're given more bigger tasks. Gabriel wants to feel like he can do more, so he looks at Arj as a way to do that. Arj eventually meets Jeff, who's played by Seth Rogen. Jeff is very established for himself. He lives in a big house, he has a great job, he makes a lot of money, and Arj is delivering his food. He's not too happy. Eventually, the two get to talking, and Jeff offers Arj a job as his assistant. Things don't work out between the two, and eventually Gabriel offers Arj the opportunity to see what would happen if he lives Jeff's life. So they're basically switching lives. Jeff switched lives with Arj switched lives with Jeff, and Gabriel is giving Arj the opportunity to realize his life was actually worth living. Now, this movie is set to be a comedy. Whenever you have people like Seth Rogen and Aziz, things get to be a lot funny, very humorous, but I feel like Keanu Reeves really was the comic in this whole entire movie. And I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan. I love Keanu Reeves. I think he's a great actor. But what makes it so amazing is that this movie shows that Keanu Reeves, just being Keanu, can be funny. Keanu Reeves is one of the only actors I know that can be himself and play practically any role you hand to him, whether it be a comedy, whether it be a voiceover for a super-powered hedgehog, whether it be, John Wick, an assassin. Like, just being Keanu Reeves is wildly entertaining. He's like a Swiss Army knife of acting. He just has it all, and all he has to really do is just play himself. This movie touches on a lot of different points of how hard, the lower class has it, and how easy some people are just born into wealth, and it really shows, the differences of how unfair life can be for some people. This movie is about appreciating life. It's about appreciating your life, having hope, and not giving up, not wanting to live someone else's life because they might not have it all that great, and you might just be going through a tough patch at this time, but eventually things can get better if you just don't give up on your dreams. I give a lot of respect to Aziz, being as how this is his first debut as writing and director, and also starring in his own film. I feel like this is a great start for someone who's actually trying to, be further into the entertainment industry, into the movie business, not just being as an actor, but also being someone behind the scenes. I think this movie was a great, success, and I think it was a great start for that career path that he's trying to take. I love seeing these three on screen together. I never realized how much I would need a movie with people like Aziz, Keanu Reeves, and Seth Rogen all together on one screen. But what really took me off guard was how funny Keanu Reeves was compared to Seth Rogen and the dynamic between him and Aziz. It's been a while since I've seen Keanu Reeves do a movie other than action scenes or anything to do with guns blazing. It's funny to see him on screen with people like Seth Rogen and Aziz. I didn't know how much I would need this trio until today. I would love to actually see these guys do more movies, even though I'm pretty sure that might not happen, but I'm just putting it out there. Do another movie because I think you guys were great together. Keke Palmer is also great in this movie. She plays Elena, and she's trying to form the union at the hardware store where she works at because they're overworked and they're being underpaid, and she's basically fighting for the smaller guy. It was also great to see her in this, and her dynamic with Arj Aziz was also pretty cool to see. This movie is wildly diverse and there's just a lot going on, but I think the idea behind everything is, like I said, just don't give up on your goals and just appreciate the life that you have, because you never know, even though things might look great on the other side, the grass isn't always greener. This movie is trying to show you that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's basically showing you exactly how hard lower class people have it. Some people have to fight for what they want, they have to work more than one job just to provide and get by, and it isn't easy for everyone. We all know people that are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and sometimes, yeah, you see the guy that has a Porsche, you see the guy that has a great life, and you might yearn for it, you might want that. But the idea behind the movie is, just work hard, be consistent, do what you have to do in your life, create your own identity, because the fruits of your labor eventually will pay off in the long run. Arj is driving around in his car, he's trying to find places to sleep in, his car is being, towed, and he has unpaid parking tickets, and he's just struggling every day trying to provide for himself. And there's situations where his family is calling him and he's telling them, his life is great, even though it's not so great. He's lying to them because he doesn't want to feel embarrassed. I know there's a lot of people out there that's going to see this movie and it's going to resonate with them, because a lot of people, we do have it hard. People do struggle. People do, have to go through a lot just to provide. And this movie touches on that, and it touches on what would happen if you actually do get that wealth. Is money everything that's going to solve your problems, or is it just something that's superficial? Is there other things that you might need to be happy in life? I had a good time with this movie. It really isn't the longest movie. It runs for about like 96 minutes or so it's not the longest movie, but as soon as the movie starts, it pretty much gets to the point, and it pretty much, gets you involved with these characters, and I really did enjoy a lot from this movie. Seeing Keanu Reeves play a guardian angel and saving people before they get into a car accident was a great idea, and I think it was actually interesting and humorous to see him play this role. I love seeing Keanu Reeves in his element, and I love seeing Keanu just be Keanu. You can tell that just having Keanu Reeves, on screen with Seth Rogen and Aziz, I think, everybody kind of just became really close friends, while making this movie, and it shows on screen. They really had a good time while filming this, and I think, people will see that and they'll actually enjoy just watching everybody on screen, just having fun and having a good time. The movie is funny, it's entertaining, but there's more to the movie than just comedy. It actually touches on real life situations, and I think that's where the movie shines the most. But hey, did you see Good Fortune? Please let me know, like and comment this video. Also, please subscribe, as it'll help build the channel. I think audiences will enjoy this movie because I think there's a lot to take from this movie, but let me know your feelings about it. And remember everyone, it isn't cinema if it ain't absolute cinema. Till next time, take care.